Hey, something worked. I love it when a plan comes together. So I've got me. I can see myself. I can see myself in this window here, which is real time, and then I can also see this window over here, which is what you are seeing. And I'm lagged. There's always a few seconds of lag, but we have some folks. Hello, Lester and Matt and Can Now and Yojo and Comic Tropes and David and Matt. And hey, Marianne is here. Nice to see you. She's here, but also there. Dual monitors. Well, that's fancy. Hey, it's JLS Comics. Nice to see you, JLS Comics. Howdy, Yojo Bando. I am live. Hi, Chris and RTD1. I can't. This thing is just sitting here. And I don't think about it until I actually start the live show. So hopefully we can open up Retro Classified Gung Ho. It's still sealed. I'm not going to open it unless I open it for you guys. I mean, I've waited this long. I can wait until I can actually open this live. But at the moment, I am surrounded by stuff. You can't see it on your TV screen, but I'm surrounded by stuff. Hello, Evigums, nice to see you. Hello, Jumpin' General. Hello, White Vegeta. Hello, Turd Ferguson. Why is Outback hosting the show? I'll tell you why Outback is hosting the show, because this shirt was clean when I needed to get dressed for the show. And, an Outback is a very cleanly person, very clean guy, likes to take showers, likes to do the laundry, keep his clothing clean, comb his hair. I don't know how he does all those things in the wilderness, but that's why Outback, Tiger Force Outback, is hosting the show today. Hey Sparkster, nice to see you. Evening Commander, at the toy show someone cosplayed as a Cobra Bat with all the weapons. That's cool. Even the claw could move. That's very cool. Marianne is correct. I have a lot of stuff. I have so much stuff here. And including Gung Ho. We'll try to get to Gung Ho. I'm going to do my best. What a day. What a week. Okay, so you know how videos that I've done so far this year, and it's March by now, but so far this year, almost every video I've done has been cursed. It just hasn't wanted to go. There's been some technical behind-the-scenes problem with every single one of them. Hello, Ratface. Hello, Terrence. Hello, JoeFan84. Hello, Patrick and Andrew, the guy so nice they named him twice. Nice to see you. Thank you for being here. Terrence says, hi, everyone from the great state of Maryland. Hello, Maryland, from the United States. Thank you very much for being here. Yes, keeping you on your toes. Yes, I started early. I started a few minutes early. I always start a little bit early so that in case there's a technical problem, I'll have time to fix it so I won't be late. I don't like to be late. And given how many technical problems I've had lately, I've got to take that precaution. So I'm working on the next review video, and today I get some recording done, only to discover that for part of those recordings, the microphone was not on, so no audio was recorded. So I'll have to do something about that. So here it is. We're now into late March, and I'm still having issues getting every single video done. There's always something that happens with every single one. Thank you, Comic Tropes. Thank you, Comic Tropes. Apparently, the action figure gods do not appreciate my work. I have offended the action figure gods in some way. My hair's kind of got this dent thing going on here. Sorry about that. Anyway, hi there. Let's see, David. Hello, David Sharp. Crystal Ball. Yes, I will blame Crystal Ball for the issues. That's all. Well, you know what? Let's just blame Crystal Ball for everything. That's easy. Hello, JK Siege. Nice to see you. It has been a bit. Nice to see you there. Hello, Keldon. Hello, Rob Vegas. Never too late, never too early. I arrive precisely when, yes, just like Santa Claus, or what have you. Hello, Marshall. Nice to see you there. Every crisis is an opportunity in disguise. I like that. That's a good attitude. Also for this video that's coming up, I had planned to record a segment of it outdoors. I've got to record some of it outside, in nature, under the sun. But the weather forecast for the whole week calls for rain, except for tomorrow. Tomorrow provides only the brief window that I'm going to have to go outside, shoot this video, and hopefully get it done. But then there's the issue, now I have possibly a scheduling conflict. So I may not be able to do it tomorrow after all. So when do I do it? Not when it's pouring down rain. I don't know. I have no idea. Hello, the Figure Six Pack. Yeah, it's raining. It's that kind of week. Yeah, next you'll fall off the roof. Yeah, see, that's what I'm waiting for. I'm waiting to just trip on something, break my leg or something. It's just that kind. This is not the week for me to play the lottery. Hello, Diecast Nick. Yes, it's putting the clocks forward. That I wish I could blame the time change and putting the clocks forward for everything, but the fiasco, the disaster, the chaos started well before then. So I can't blame it on that in this particular case. Going to rain. Oh, it's going to rain on Sparkster. See, I feel like Charlie Brown. There's a rain cloud just following me around. But I'm working on it. It can't rain all the time. That's true. That's what we learned from The Crow. And you know what a happy, joyous movie that was. Hello, The Quiet Silence. Hi, 788, he says. Hello to you back. So, yes, I was just thinking of the line that we're all familiar with from the A-Team of Hannibal Smith, with his stogie saying, "I love it when a plan comes together." Because that is the opposite of what is happening with me. It seems like everything I plan, it doesn't want to work. It just doesn't want to work. But since I was thinking of that particular line from the A-Team, it inspired me to pull out my A-Team action figures. These would be from the early 80s, and I don't recall exactly the dates, and I believe Mego produced these. So I was going to show these off. I have the whole team. I have the whole team in the 3 3/4 inch scale. So starting with let's just check this out. There's Hannibal. There's John Hannibal Smith from the A-Team. It does have the O-ring construction body. I know that Mego used the O-ring construction before G.I. Joe did. In fact, the early G.I. Joe figures, when they were in pre-production, they just mocked up some Mego figures. But yeah, there's Hannibal wearing a blue and purple outfit that he never ever wore in the show. And look, check this out. There's a variant. He's got a different blue and purple outfit. Look, that face is a little mangled. He's still happy. He's still thrilled. Look how happy he is. That guy is extremely happy that a plan came together. That is one happy dude. And of course we have Howlin' Mad Murdoch. Howlin' Mad. And this one I think is, first of all, look at that orange. So you think neon orange was invented in the 90s? No, it was in the 80s too. It was in the 80s. Why does Hannibal look like Jimmy Carter? Wasn't the character played by Jimmy Carter? I don't know. I don't remember. I didn't look at the credits, but yeah, that's what he's supposed to allegedly look like. But he's happy. He's very happy. All smiles, and this guy smiles too. but he's howling mad. He's a little crazy. But check out his side eye. That's my favorite part of this one. He's giving you the side eye. He's like, hey baby, how you doing? You know what? This head sculpt could kind of be used for Ernest. This could be an Ernest P. Worrell. Know what I mean? Know what I mean, Vern? But anyway, so yeah, so that's Howlin' Mad Murdoch. Like if he's facing forward, it's like you can tell he's not paying attention. Is that an eye roll? Is he rolling his eyes? Don't roll your eyes at me. So yeah, that's Howlin' Mad, and now I'll save Mr. T for last because he's everybody's favorite, I guess. But next we have, let's see, I have 3 of these, but this is the best one, I think. We have the Face Man, and he's really happy too. We are all smiles. At least he's actually, he's actually looking at you. No side eye with this guy. No side eye. And with a hairstyle like that, he's a ladies' man. That guy is very. I mean, you can't get much more handsome than that, right? And of course, he's wearing a black outfit like nothing that was worn in this show ever. And then finally we have. Let's see, what's the? Yeah, this one will do. Finally, we have Mr. T. Bad attitude, B.A. Baracus. There's Mr. T. Now check this out. Now people were complaining. Let me see if I can get a better focus. People were complaining about the red lips on the classified Falcon figure. Look at this thing. Look at that. That is not a natural lip color. That is, he's put that. That's like hooker red lipstick right there. That's serious. But anyway, but he's the only one that's not smiling. He's not smiling probably because he's wearing lipstick. I mean, come on. But he has got broader shoulders than the other guys. He's wearing a military uniform, but it's like a dress uniform. Look at this. It's got the braid on the shoulder, and it's got like some kind of, it doesn't have any rank insignia or anything. Is that an ascot? Is he got an ascot on? Anyway, I haven't looked at these in forever. I decided I wanted to pick them out, and because I was thinking of the A-Team, I was just thinking of the A-Team. So I thought I would break out the A-Team and show you these guys. These figures are, look at that arm. These figures are not the highest quality. G.I. Joe figures, basically of every era, have stood the test of time better than these guys. Hello, Baronessa. Nice to see you. He does pity the fool, and I am the fool. So here he is. Now he's looking at me. He's pitying me because I am the fool. Who we got here? Hello. Yeah, same lipstick as classified Falcon. Yeah, look at this. Check that out. That's yeah. He's ready for date night. He's ready. He's ready to go out. But anyway, yeah, Starbuck. That's see, they could have stuck this on a Starbuck, or you could use this as a Starbuck figure. But he would, when you put him in the Viper fighter, then he's not. I don't think the helmet's gonna fit on that. The helmet will not go around that head. But anyway, yeah. So I was just thinking of the A-Team. Classic no ring. Hello, James and Stonegate Creations. How do you do? I should get the same haircut. I've got to grow it out. And I have to get the 70s. It has to be feathered and kind of go over the ears. For the 70s, the hair had to go over the ears. That was the style. Hello, cat. Look, thank you. The Quiet Silence. Murdoch was also the guy with the holodeck addiction on the Star Trek: The Next Generation. Yes, that is correct. So, so here we go. Yeah. So this is, there we go. There's Barclay from Star Trek TNG. Calling up holodeck images. Deanna Troi doing unspeakable things. What a dirty dog. By the way, okay, I was just thinking about that. Well, no, I'm not the first one to think about this, okay? But all right, the Enterprise crew spends a lot of time on the holodeck, and you know that they get down to dirty business there, right? They get down to dirty business on the holodeck. But everything on the holodeck is just a hologram, right? It doesn't really exist. So anything you interact with there, I mean, from you, your person, you exist. But the everything else there doesn't exist. So what I'm wondering is that, does the Enterprise have a guy that goes through and squeegees the holodeck walls and floor and everything after use, if you know what I'm saying? Because I mean, where else would it go? Like, but suppose you want to use the bathroom, like you're on the holodeck, you're in London playing Sherlock Holmes, and you need to go. You just got to go, and you go, you do your business, you find a public restroom, whatever they used in Victorian era London, whatever they used there, you use that, and then somebody, then what happens to it? That's what I'm saying. What happens to it? I mean, because the toilet's just a hologram, right? The toilet's just a hologram, and also, like, whatever else you do in there, just a hologram. So after they say, this is what they don't put on the show, right? After they say computer and program, a guy comes in with a big squeegee and, like, starts, cleaning up. That's one guy's job. That's the guy's job on the Enterprise that's the guy nobody likes. When they don't like you on the Enterprise, they give you the squeegee job. You go squeegee out the holodecks. Yeah, if it's after Riker used it, you'll need some Lysol. Get some Lysol in there and go clean up the holodeck. What a crappy job that is. How do we get? Yeah, that's true. Gussie says Trekkers never go. They don't have. I don't believe they actually have toilets on the Enterprise. I assume that sometime around the 23rd century we had learned to not have any bodily waste anymore. So I don't know exactly how they did that, but in theory, though, something's it's where does it go? That's my question. Where does it go? I mean, you could, you know what could happen? You could end up like Ben Stiller in that movie, There's Something About Mary. I mean, it gets lost, and then all of a sudden somebody thinks you've got hair gel. You don't want that. You don't want that. So where does it go? That's my question. In fact, don't answer that question. Let's get off that topic. How do we get on this topic? Who is to blame for getting us on this topic? Whenever I go on a tangent like that, I am going to give a hearty yo-jo to bring it back to G.I. Joe. That way we can reach our G.I. Joe quotient. This is a G.I. Joe related show. We can't go on talking about squeegeeing the holodeck. It fuels the replicators. That's a great way to recycle it. You could recycle it. You recycle it, and then no. You know what? I can't say what I was thinking. I'm not going to say it. The Quiet Silence started this. So the Quiet Silence. This is your fault. I blame you. So you sit in a corner and you think about what you've done. Anyway, what was yeah, Barclay. We were talking about Barclay because we were talking about the A-Team. Yeah. You see, I'm up here and he's curious about what's going on. So, next topic. I didn't do any of the previews like I usually do. Oh, hello, Payne's Toy Sample. It's nice to see you. Hello, Milwaukee Allen. And who else does not say hello to? Hello, Terrence and Diecast and Exploriso. How do you do? Soylent Brown. See, that's how that gets recycled. The A-Team was probably one of Barclay's many holodeck programs. See, that would be a really fun twist on the show. Yeah, now, you remember how Star Trek Enterprise ended? Like, the last episode was just a holodeck thing. Just imagine if the last episode of the A-Team is Hal and Mad Murdoch saying computer end program, and the whole thing goes away and he walks out, end of program. And the whole A-Team series was Barclay's holodeck program. So he walks out, and then the janitor has to walk in and squeegee that whole place out. So, that's how it would go, I think. That's how it... Code Brown, yeah, that's how it would go. Hello, Nestor, nice to see you. Yeah, Tunnel Rat knows the... He probably does. Good point. Hello, Rich, nice to see you. Yo, Joe! Let's keep it G.I. Joe focused. Let's keep it... Please don't knock anything down. Let's keep this G.I. Joe focused. First of all, today is Tuesday. Timmer has a new video on his YouTube show, Half the Battle. This one is on how much would these vehicles that G.I. Joe has actually cost? How much would they actually cost? And I know you're probably thinking, kids playing with these toys back in the 80s and 90s, they weren't thinking about the budget. They weren't thinking about how much these things would cost in real life. Well, I sort of was. Some of us did. But at any rate, so new episode of Half the Battle. Also, after this this live show, you should be able to switch over to What's on Joe Mind. Check out the What's on Joe Mind live stream right after this one. And I don't know what. I have a new... Oh, yeah, the new review went up. I reviewed Charbroil. That's the one I was intending to review the week before. But then, things got screwed up. I had to change plans. I found out one of the accessories was broken. I couldn't review it without the accessory, so I had to get a new one, and then push that back a week and do the Hawk review instead. So that's just how this year is going. Richard blew crap up all the time. But that is your... Hey, I don't mind. There's no kink shaming here, but that is your business, and whatever you do behind closed doors that's none of my beeswax. If Bazooka used the latrine, they send in airtight. I've got it. You know what? I haven't done an air. No, I did Bazooka. No, I did Airtight. Yeah, I did. Now, what was making me think of Airtight is that I've been looking at the Eco Warriors lately, and the Eco Warriors did not include Airtight. This is something that we've pointed out before. Why was Airtight not an Eco Warrior? He had the exact job description and the crazy colors. He already had the crazy colors. But no, they did not have him in Eco Warriors. Unusual choice. Yes, the right, Baronessa. If your kink is being shamed, then yes. But otherwise, no. Otherwise, none at all. Yes, don't Google Airtight. That's not. If you Google Airtight, my review of the figure will not be the first one to come up. That's save you the trouble there. Next topic, Yo Joe. Hey, we're talking about G.I. Joe. This is a G.I. Joe focused, centered live stream, and it's going swimmingly, isn't it? It's going very well. So next topic, Stargate. Because as I noted before, as I noted a few weeks ago, my girlfriend Marianne, who is in here, hi. She's been watching. Hi, nice. Thank you for being here. She is a fan of Stargate, and it is because I was looking for a gift for her that I ran across the Stargate version of the G.I. Joe All-Striker, which I do not have within arm's reach right now. But I have it. I showed it to you. Well, now after that I got really curious about that Stargate toy line by Hasbro from 1995, the year after the movie came out. because I needed an action figure. I needed an action figure to put in the Stargate all-terrain cruiser, and it was too large for a G.I. Joe figure. Hi, hello, Marianne. Thank you for being here. Airtight had too much self-respect. That could be. That could be. You have to have very low standards to be in the Eco Warriors. Waste is broken down into constituent molecules and recycled as anything required, mainly boots, uniforms, and whatnot. So yeah, if you ask the replicator to give you a new uniform, you need a new uniform. Computer, give me a size medium, red jumpsuit. Then part of that, some molecules from that, will be somebody's poop. Space dune buggy. Good thinking. Lobotomax is larger, but I don't think he would fit in there because of the tail and his big feet. Remember, Lobotomax had the big, double-sized feet. But you know what they say about guys with big feet, and you also seen his tail, so it's confirmed. Diecast. Well, maybe Diecast Nick was not here for it. Let me hold on. It's around here somewhere. Hold on. I gotta. Hold on. Don't fall. Yeah, I knocked it on the floor. Hang on a second. All right. Good news. It didn't break. If it did break, I was going to blame Diecast Nick as his fault. Although I could replace it pretty easily because these things are really cheap. I got it mint in the box. It did not cost very much. But anyway, so this is the thing that I opened a few weeks ago. And it is the All-Striker, but it is in different colors. It is slightly different mold. It's a one-seater instead of a two-seater. It has this platform on the back that was not on the original. It also has the spring-firing missile launcher, so you can go like, boom. Ooh. Yeah, you can do that. But I wanted to get a figure to put in it, right? I wanted to get a figure to actually occupy the single seat. So I did, and what I discovered is these Stargate figures are so cheap. So cheap. Why not just get, all of them? I didn't get all of them, but I do have most of them. And I wanted to show you some of these because this is sort of G.I. Joe related. Comic Trope says put BA in it. Hold on. Good idea. Put BA. Let's put BA Baracus. Let's put Bad Attitude Baracus in there. So this is the issue. For a G.I. Joe figure, it's just way too light, or a G.I. Joe size figure. It's just way too wide. Oh, thank you, JoeFan84. Sunday is my 39th birthday. Ugh, he says. Mr. S is watching in. Hello, Mr. S. He says, hey back. We are going to a retro toy store for my birthday. Hope to find some cool stuff. That's awesome. That reminds me of a story. First of all, happy birthday. Happy early birthday. And hello to Mr. S. Nice to see you here. Glad to know that you're here. That reminds me, though. Marianne and I went to the Vintage Toy Mall on Saturday, and I was recognized by a viewer. A viewer came up and said hello while she was standing there right next to me. Hello, Dave. Oh, thank you, Dave E. The Sergeant Savage figures fit perfectly on the Stargate Cruiser. I have the camo Sergeant Savage on mine. That's a good idea. My Sergeant Savage figures, and I do have several, but my Sergeant Savage figures, they are in a plastic tote. I know where they are, more or less. I more or less know where they are. But as we saw when we put Crankcase in this, it's just too big. So I got these, and I went ahead and got the figures mint on card. I haven't got anything loose on here. I've got them all mint on card, but I wanted to show you something because this is G.I. Joe related. All right, this was produced by Hasbro for 95, so they would have been producing these at about the time the Real American Hero toy line was ending, right? This is what they got. If you were a fan of the Stargate at the time, this is what you got. This is sort of a likeness of Kurt Russell, sort of. But he has, in the movie, he wears a beret, and it comes with a beret. Check that out. It comes with a beret. Yeah, dig that. The problem, though, with this beret is that it will not stay on. There is no angle that you can put it at. There is no amount of pressing it on the head that will keep this on. This beret will not stay on. And now it fell on the floor. I better get it before the cat eats it. All right, so this is just really poor quality. This is rough. This is rough. But that's not all. So there's the guy. There's the Kurt Russell guy. And then it comes with a few things that you should recognize, like 90s era G.I. Joe spring-loaded missile launchers. I forget who this one came with. I think it was like Outback. I think this was like the 93 Battle Corps Outback. And then this one, it comes with this weapon that will not fit in his hand. You see the grip is there. His hand will not go around it. It will not work. You can put the foregrip in his hand. And he can carry it like that, but that looks ridiculous. So there was no coordination between the figures and the accessories. Hasbro is like, just throw in a few things. Grab some G.I. Joe stuff, throw it in, whatever you got. Doesn't matter if it actually fits in the figure's hand or not. So this one, well, let's go ahead and put him in. So this is Jack O'Neill, the character, at least that's what it says on the card, which is not around. But anyway, so let's go ahead and put him in. He will fit, and you can see his butt's way wider than a G.I. Joe. Like, look at B.A. Baracus. Compare their backsides, right? And B.A. Baracus is large, if anything, and this guy's backside is even larger. So let's put him in, and because he has such a gargantuan posterior, he will fit. And he will not slide around. Now this is another great thing about it. This is another awesome thing about it. So they moved the steering wheel to the center because it's a one-seater instead of a two-seater. But his hands can't go on the steering wheel. His hand, because he only has articulation at the wrists. So the steering wheel is centered there. He's gonna have to steer with his crotch. Like, you remember that scene from Planes, Trains, and Automobiles when John Candy had to steer with his crotch? That's what he has to do. He has to steer with his crotch because his hands cannot go on the steering wheel. Genius. Hasbro, well done. This is the figure that's based on James Spader. Check that out. In that movie, he does wear a hat. It's not this hat. He does have a uniform on. It's not this uniform. The character in the movie is wearing glasses. He's not wearing glasses. This does have a removable hat. It does. But unlike the other one, the hat does stay on very well and is actually really, really hard to get off. So this one has the opposite problem. If you put the hat on him, you may never get it off again. So anyway, check out that incredible likeness of James Spader. Much effort was put in this, as you can tell. It looks nothing like Ultron. You know what? It looks more like Ultron than it does James Spader. But that is definitely something that exists. And what else was I gonna? Oh yeah, okay. So more G.I. Joe stuff, right? he includes a backpack. Now the backpack is packaged like this, with this bedroll at the top, and it's very large. You recognize this backpack, right? You recognize this. This is a Tunnel Rat backpack, 1987 Tunnel Rat. But if you know from Tunnel Rat, you know it doesn't go this way. It's supposed to go this way. And now the pouches are the right way up. And on the Tunnel Rat backpack, it had the flashlights that would peg onto the top. No peg holes there. So this is how it's supposed to go. And the figure does have a hole in the back for the backpack. These are not O-ring figures, so that's not a screw hole. That is just a hole that is bored into the back so that the backpack will fit on. So he can carry a G.I. Joe backpack, but guess who cannot? Guess who cannot carry a G.I. Joe backpack because he has no hole in the back for the peg. He got no hole in the back for the backpack. So, you know, you hopefully in your playtime, if you actually played with these Stargate figures, hopefully he does not need a backpack because he cannot carry one. So yeah, to me this is a fascinating way that G.I. Joe vehicles and accessories were used after the end of the G.I. Joe toy line. This is after the Real American Hero run, after things had shifted over to Sergeant Savage. And by the way, Sergeant Savage also had some Joe accessories, even though those figures were not in scale. Those figures were larger, still had some G.I. Joe accessories. Baronessa, yes, you're correct. You cannot peg Kurt Russell. So maybe. You have to ask him nicely, maybe get him a few drinks, but at least in this action figure, you can't peg it. You cannot peg this action figure. Look here, Mr. S. It may be bedtime because apparently I'm working blue this evening. My apologies. Marion says, just for the record, this is definitely from the movie. There's no military vehicle like this in the movie. It's O'Neill with one L and no personality. That's right. For those of you familiar with the TV series, this character was played by Richard Dean Anderson, MacGyver. Looking also nothing like this, but yes, but it's sort of the same character, but not really. Has some of the same background, but for some reason his name is spelled differently. Now, at least in the episodes that I've seen so far, they don't have a vehicle like this either, even though it would have been useful on numerous occasions if they did have such a vehicle. They do not seem to have such a vehicle. So anyway, but I wanted to show you that because I on a lark, on a whim, I went crazy and I just picked up a bunch of carded figures and a creature. This is also part of the line. Check this out. This mastage, related to a bastage, I'm sure. Also not expensive. Mint sealed in the box, not expensive. I did take it out of the box. I assembled it. There wasn't much assembly to do on it. Doesn't Mercer look like Kurt Russell? That's a good point. I wish I had thought of that. I could have pulled out the Mercer figure. Yeah, it kind of has a Kurt Russell look. Yeah, a little bit. Missed opportunity. Absolutely. Mr. S is off now. He has to get ready for bed. He's got school tomorrow, but next week is on spring break. I'll be clean. No dirty jokes next week. All right. We gotta be more mature next week. We've got to not go for the lowbrow humor. No more low-hanging fruit for spring break. You know, let's give the kid a chance to grow up normally without warping his brain. So thank you, JoeFan84. I'll try not to speculate about what happens to bodily fluids and such, and then have Mr. Esk saying, "What's pegging? What does pegging mean? Unless he already knows, in which case, if he already knows, that's a different problem. That's a different parenting issue. I'll leave that to you. But anyway, yeah. So lots of reuse of G.I. Joe accessories and vehicles in this line, despite the fact that the accessories, a lot of them, will not fit in the figure's hand. You can't use them. So this is a very Hasbro thing to do. And, if you're a fan of G.I. Joe and you followed that line, you're like, yep, this is absolutely something they would do. I mean, do you remember, I think it was, yes, you mentioned Lobotomax. Remember, Lobotomax came with a bunch of accessories that he could not put in his hand. Because just like this one, the grip had a guard around it, so it's a loop. But his hands were also a loop, so he couldn't hold. That's a very Hasbro thing to do. Very Hasbro thing to do. Save a buck in the ways that will make the toy absolutely unusable. It's hilarious. Ask peg warmers about peg. Yeah, okay, yeah. If you need to ask anybody. Peg warmers has peg in the name. So that's an option. Probably hears more bad words at school. That is probably true. At least I did. So, one more thing as we go on. First of all, Yo Joe, keeping our G.I. Joe quotient up, keeping this show focused on G.I. Joe. We don't talk about anything other than G.I. Joe on this show except for this right here. So Marianne pointed this out to me. This is first of all, check this out. That is just a straight reissue of Monkey Wrench's Trident gun. That's a Dreadnought accessory. They didn't even change the color. They just tossed more in there. Check that out. So this guy comes with a Monkey Wrench gun. But Marianne pointed this out. So this character is supposed to be like from Space Egypt. He's a desert dwelling community, and he is very exposed to the sun. Look at this. Look at how this action figure is whiter than the Caucasians. Like this guy hasn't seen the sun. This guy doesn't know what the sun is. That's why his pupils are so dilated. He's never seen light. So another great job, Hasbro of the 90s. You guys were killing it. You guys were just knocking it out of the park with these. I think this stuff is hilarious. Regardless of the movie, I did like the movie. Just referring to the toys, it is no wonder why this toy line did not last. This is amazing, and amazing in the worst possible way. Billy from Predator, yeah, kinda, but yeah, he's more G.I. Joe accessories, more G.I. Joe spring-loaded missile launchers. All of them have that. Except the bad guys actually look like they have some unique accessories. Now this is kind of cool. This is Lieutenant Kowalski. That's not the name of the love interest in Red Dwarf. That was Kazansky, I think, or Kajansky, something like that. But not Kowalski. This is Kowalski. One thing I liked about this one is, check that out. It comes with a little mini Awe Striker. That's kind of cool. It comes with a mini Awe. It's a baby Awe Striker. That's kind of cool. But yeah, you recognize that? That's a G.I. Joe accessory. So yeah, there's so Hasbro mid-90s, they're like, we got this license for this movie Stargate. It's going to be really big, going to be really great, but we don't want to spend any money on it. We don't want to spend no money. So what can we do to cut costs? What can we do to spend absolutely nothing? Well, just look in the warehouse. Do you have any G.I. Joe accessories we can just throw in this? It doesn't matter if they fit or not. It doesn't matter if they make any sense. It doesn't matter if they appeared in the movie or not. Just throw them in there. Just throw them in there. It'll be fine. Kids don't care, right? Kids will just lose them anyway. Well, little did they know, kids didn't have any interest in these toys because they were crap. Instead, they were collected and kept on the card for later resale many decades later. No, we didn't lose the pieces. They're still in there. They're still in there. So, yes, we've gone a little crazy, but this is one that doesn't take a lot to collect. These are not expensive. They're not expensive even still sealed on the card in the box. And there aren't very many of them. So you can get a complete run. You can get a complete set really cheap. Which I love because this is hilarious. Was the original movie rated R? I don't know. I don't remember. That's a good question. But if it was, that was no barrier, because like there were tons of toy lines from R-rated movies, especially in the 80s. We loved that. Yeah, so that's an easy one. It's really no effort at all to get these guys, and they are hilarious. These are like good bad movies. A good bad movie that's bad but still entertaining because it's so bad. These are entertaining. These are entertaining because they are so bad and they put so little effort into these. It's incredible. You can just see the decision-making process at work in these lumps of plastic. Hilarious. I love it. Marianne says, pretty sure PG-13. That could be. A-Raw O-Ring figure had the best playability of all toys. That they are obviously my favorite, but there's a lot going for it. See, there's nothing necessarily magic about the O-Ring figures or the 3 3/4 inch scale, but there kind of is. Keldon says, A+ trivia here, Stargate was the first movie to use a website to promote it. Hey, that's very high tech. And I think there's a packaging variant on some of these where I think they advertised either the website or a game or something. Yeah, only Stargate. We're done. We only talk about G.I. Joe on this show. That's all we talk about. That's a G.I. Joe focused show. As I was saying, there's nothing magic about the O-Ring or the 3 3/4 inch scale, except there kind of is. Because the O-Ring construction gives you about the best articulation you can get at that scale. So you have your elbows, you have your knees, you have your ball-jointed head, you have torso movement, you have, swivel arm battle grip. You have a pretty good articulation at that scale with the O-Ring figure construction. And that scale is about the perfect scale for a line that includes a lot of vehicles. At that scale, you can get vehicles that are not too expensive and also not too big, so that you can play with them. They can fit lots of action figures in them, and they can be more available. Whereas if they're in a larger scale, then you can not have as many vehicles, and the vehicles that you do have will have to be bigger to accommodate the larger size. And if they are smaller, like Mask action figures, they were smaller. You can shrink the vehicle size down, but you also have smaller accessories, more easy to lose. You have less articulation. You have less detail. You can't do as much at the smaller scale. So that 3 3/4 inch scale gives you a great balance of large enough to add some detail and have some decent accessories, small enough to fit in vehicles and have lots of vehicles in the line. That scale that scale and that construction for O-ring figures, that I believe that's a large part of why it was successful and copied. It was copied by others, by other toy lines, because it works. At that scale, for its purpose, for a toy line that needs to have vehicles, it's the perfect scale. Mask, and I love Mask. I was a fan of Mask as a kid. And the vehicles for Mask are really cool with the transforming features. They had like the spring-loaded, transformer where you could just hit a button and like they transform. They're really cool, really cool. Also, not in G.I. Joe scale, so not compatible. And they're small. The figures are very small enough that it would be impractical to try to give them more articulation than they had. It just wouldn't work at that scale. So, so this is the sweet spot. The 3 3/4 inch scale is the sweet spot for an action figure toy line that you actually want to play with, right? Now for instance, you've got 6-inch action figures like our friend Gung Ho here. You've got 6-inch action figures like this guy. They don't have, they do have some vehicles in the classified line, but as expected, they can only really do the smaller vehicles. The His Tank is the largest one that they've done. They had to do that as a HasLab project, and it's big. It's really big and expensive. The purpose of these guys, though, is not so much play as display. These are made to put up on a shelf and look really nice, and lock into whatever pose you want to put it in. But you cannot get a lot of vehicles with this scale. What you can get with this scale is more detail and more intricate accessories. You can do that at this scale. You can't do as much at the 3 3/4 inch scale. So it's a trade-off, right? It's a trade-off. It's a larger scale, more detail, more intricate accessories, more accessories. But you lose the size that gives you vehicles and has a lot of play value. Mask pretty much stole the transformation feature from Starcom. That's right, Starcom. Man, Mask gets a lot more attention than Starcom, but I do remember Starcom. Starcom was really cool. I don't think I had a lot of Starcom vehicles, but I know that I had some. Starcom would be a cool toy line. Look here, this is why I can't start collecting everything that's cool, right? I can't start thinking, wow, I remember Starcom, I want to get Starcom. I can't do that. If I start getting everything that's cool, then I'll be buried in an avalanche of stuff because there's too much. There's lots of cool stuff. Milwaukee Allen says muscle were very weird. Yes, they were. Joe Fan says, hey, I hate that they got rid of the marine tattoo. I was wondering if maybe there was some legal reason for that. This one is larger than the first version, because tattoos will sometimes change size spontaneously. Sometimes, if you have a tattoo, watch out for it. It will spontaneously change size and move to other parts of your body. But this one changed size, and you can see at the larger size that it does have an eagle. It does have a globe. It does not have an anchor. It has like a dagger through the middle. So I think they were trying to make it similar to the Marine Corps emblem, but the vintage figure was able to have the Marine Corps emblem. The later, like modern Gung Ho figures had the Marine tattoo. So what is it about now that they can't put the Marine tattoo on Gung Ho? I have no idea. This is a question that is for people above my pay grade, and a question that I would really love to know. I'd love to know the answer to that. I don't know if we'll ever get an answer to that, but I would love to know. But and it may be some legal reason. There may be some legality to it. Although I don't know what that would be. They did modify the emblem a little bit for the original Gung Ho figure. It's not exactly the same, but it's recognizable. International says, see, I thought about that too, but Gung Ho has gone out for international sales with the Marine logo as well. It could be, but here's the thing: international customers, they're either going to know the reference, they know who Gung Ho is, and they want Gung Ho to look like Gung Ho, or they're not going to know and they don't recognize the tattoo and they don't even know what it is, in which case they're not going to recognize this either. I mean, this is not replacing it with something else that has the same meaning. So it's not like it's giving those customers something that they will recognize over the Marine Corps emblem. So I don't know. I don't know. But I mean, I guess it doesn't matter. It's not vital. It's not life or death or anything. But it's something that I'm curious about. Air Raiders, says Michael Mitchell. I remember Air Raiders. I didn't get into Air Raiders as much, but I do remember them. A fair amount of them too still have them around. I'm sorry, I'm not keeping up with the chat. I can't read that fast. Targus had Captain Power, the spaceship, and VHS. Oh yeah, I was mentioning to Marianne about Captain Power. Captain Power was very cool toy line. Hello, Future Fortress Maximus. Chris over at Full Force said at one point that Hasbro told him the reason, but he's not allowed to say. See that, and that means to me that it's some kind of legal issue. And if that's what it is, whatever. It's not the end of the world. It's not vital. But it is part of this character. Raymond says, love your shirt. Oh, thank you. And credit to Chris from Comic Tropes for sending me my first cosplay, cosplaying Tiger Force Outback. So thank you, Chris. Yeah. And Outback is hosting the show, as you can see here today, because this shirt was clean. So that's what we went with. Yeah. So, I don't know. Maybe at some point in the future, when all of this is history, when all of this is a bit further back in the past, we can get some answers on why certain things were done. I would like to know, for historical purposes, I would really like to know how some of these decisions were made. I would like to know. Sparks says saw a small Captain Power playset at the Toy Show 225 in the box. That is interesting, and it's a playset. I know they had the vehicles, they had the ships, right, and they had the figures on the cards, and they did have some like small playsets. They had like a charging station or something like that. I don't remember all the playsets, but I know they had some. I don't know. I can't think right off mind. I can't think right off the top of my head what they were. But for those of you who don't know, probably everybody in here does know. But the gimmick of Captain Power was that you could shoot at the TV show or the VHS tape with the spaceship, and it would register hits, and the show would shoot back at you too. And you could take hits from the show, so you would, you could. It was interactive. It was a very early interactive show. Really cool, innovative idea. Very, very interesting. Raymond got his replacement Sky Striker yesterday. Congratulations! The Sky Striker, it had some issues. However, my issues have been resolved, and it seems like other people's issues are starting to get resolved. So, what the problems that we had with the Sky Striker when we first got it, those seem to be ironing out finally. So congratulations, Raymond, on your Sky Striker. It is 8 minutes till 8 o'clock by my clock, and we can't go late because What's on Joe Mind will start their show, and I don't want to run over their time. Sparks has said, remember seeing the Power Base playset. Had all the shooting toys. Yeah, small area. Yeah, that's right. There was like the Power Base. It's like a power recharger or something like that. Hasbro probably didn't want to pay the licensing fee / ask permission for USMC logo since USMC started cracking down on who could use the logo. That may very well be the answer. If that's the answer, I think there's no harm though in just saying that. You just say that. Just say, we couldn't get the license. So we had to do something else. That's fine. That's a completely acceptable answer. So if that's the answer, you just say that. You do these fan streams, these live streams. You just say, yeah, we know that you guys like the bird, ball, and anchor, but we couldn't do that, so we did something as close to it as we could. That's fine. That's fine. The Quiet Silence says apologies to Gung Ho. Apologies for what? Oh yeah, I forgot. Well, yeah, this. No, we haven't opened this yet. We're close. We're about out of time. Look, I can't do this in 6 minutes because it'll take me that much time to get this thing out. We wouldn't be able to look at it. So I want to save this for a time when we can actually look at it. And actually enjoy it. I'll hang on to it. We'll get to that next week. But we had a great show. Wasn't this a great show? We talked about a great many things. We talked about we talked about the A-Team. We talked about Charbroil a little bit. We talked more about the difficulty in the review of Charbroil. We talked about Stargate a little bit. We got that in just a touch. Mostly talking about G.I. Joe. In addition to that, J. Michael Straczynski directed the Captain Power TV show. There is a really cool documentary about the Captain Power TV show and the production of it. It was on YouTube. I don't know if it still is, but there is a really good documentary out about that. It's definitely worth checking out. A bet is a bet. I hope his name is easier for... G.I. Franzi says, I bet is a bet. I hope this name is easier for you. Absolutely, Guy Franzi. Guy Franzi. Thank you for joining, Guy Franzi. Nice to see you here. That's an easy name to pronounce, Guy Franzi. What was I saying? Oh, yeah. So we mostly talked about G.I. Joe. I will reiterate a couple of things. First of all, it is Tuesday. Make sure you check out Timmer's video. Also, it is Tuesday. Make sure you check out What's on Joe Mind live stream directly after this one. Also, once again, the review that I'm working on has had technical difficulties. And specifically this time, the technical difficulty had to do with... I had the microphone off when I was recording, so some of it had no audio, and I'm going to have to go back and fix that. That's a really frustrating problem to have, because you do it and you get it right. You work on it, you get it right, and you're like, this is it. I'm satisfied, I can move on, only to find out you have to do it again. It's hard to do it again to that same level, especially since you're less enthusiastic. You're less enthusiastic because, you've already put all this effort into it and you're having to rehash the whole thing. But anyway, so we've got about 3 minutes by my clock. I want to thank everyone. Stay safe on the holodecks. We did talk about the holodecks too. I'm glad we finally got that issue resolved. So they don't have somebody go in and squeegee the holodeck, right? They just recycle everything so that, at some part of, if you have you ask the replicator to make you a pair of boots, at least part of those boots is poop. So you have poop boots. So that's the 24th and a half century for you. Cobra Convergence 7. Yes, I'm also working on that. I'm trying to work on that. Things have been getting in the way because the reviews have been taking longer because of all the issues. It's been harder for me to get to the other things that I need to do. Also, another thing I was intending to do was post something on the social medias for sketch commissions. Joe Fest is around the corner. I need to raise some funds to go to Joe Fest, and the way I usually do that is I offer sketch commissions. I'll post something about that as soon as I can, but I have just nothing has gone right. Nothing. Well, there are a few things that have gone right. A few things have gone right, but in the realm of getting videos done, many things have not gone right, and I'm having to overcome. I'm having to improvise. I'm having to overcome obstacles, and I'm working on it. But at any rate, this is about the time to head out. Oh, hello, Cobra Island. Has the perfect thing for CC7. That's great, because we need the perfect thing. Low One Bow 2 says about one of my drawings at last year at Joe Fest. Thank you very much. That's appreciated. That really helps. That really does help. That helps a lot. It really helps a ton. Yeah, always things that have gone right. That is true. Vitris is correct. Yeah, it's always easier to do the second time, says Guy Ferranzi. Yeah, I hope so. But it's just frustrating that I should have to do it. And it's time. It's more time I have to do it. So, but anyway, now is the time to wrap it up. We're in the last minute. I don't want to go over. Go and check out What's on Joe Mind. They have a show coming up next. Thank you all for watching. I will be back next week with a live stream. I will also hopefully have a video up for you on Sunday. I'm sure going to try. So I'll see you then. Until then, I'll remember the things that only Stargate is Stargate. I mean, literally. I mean, anything else would be Stargate. That would be a trademark infringement. See you later, everybody. I'll see you next week. Bye, everyone. Bye.